Hey there everyone, welcome to this ProWorkflow training focusing on reporting. As a quick disclaimer right at the start, this isn't going to be a session so much on how to build your reports as it is on the tool set that you'll have available to you while you're building your own reports. If you would like any assistance in building a specific report and retrieving certain information, please contact subscriptions@proworkflow.com and we can jump on a session with you and help you best figure out how to retrieve that data. Now, that being said, coming through to the reporting session, you see we've got a nice easy interface broken into 6 different categories, all focusing around different sort of areas of the tool. However, that being said, most of these contain some double ups. So summary of projects being a good example, I believe it shows up in, say, the client section. You see this time it is grouped by client. So changing this back to no grouping would be identical to the report that would be generated if we went with the one from the projects category. Now that being said, if we do view this summary of projects here, the toolbar is where most of our interaction and change in this report happens. So the first option you get is your filters, and you'll see that you have effectively every single field available in the project is available here to use as a filter. Now depending on what kind of report you've run, you might get some different filtering options. So if I say ran a summary of tasks, you'll see in this case I, as well as having our project filters, get a few task filters there as well. So just something to keep in mind when you are constructing your reports. The type of information that you've started your report with will impact the changes you can make going forward. Now aside from filters, you've got access to a display menu. Now in the display menu we get to determine what information is actually displayed. So you see here number, title, category on the left hand side is the information being displayed in our columns here. So number, title, category. We can remove these like so. We can rename them to say type. And then you see it'll be renamed both here and on our report itself. And we can drag new fields in as well. Now from the display menu we also can control what format our time information is in, if we have any, hours to minutes or in decimal, so 1.5 hours versus 1.5 hours. And we can also control the grouping. So before we picked client we mused about no grouping, but we would be able to pick any of these others here as well. Now, after we've sort of created our report, we've changed the filters, we've changed our display, it might come time to save this report so we can access it in future. Now, quick tip here, when it comes to filtering, you may, with some of the date-based filters, want to use the relative ranges as opposed to choosing from the calendar. Reason being, once a report's been saved, we can continually run it with, let's say, this week as our chosen filter, and all of the information will constantly be current because it'll be relative to the date that we run the report as to what dates it is reporting on. Now, coming back up to our information here section here, based on what we've created, we can rename our report as we need to. We can share it with individuals and we can give it a description. Once we've hit save a copy, we can come back to our reports page, and my reports will be the section of reports you have created, you are the owner of, and shared reports will come up in another section here. So reports created by other staff members that have been shared with you in some capacity. Those reports you will not be able to make changes to, the ones that have been shared with you. However, you can always click into them, and you see if you come up to the information section, you have access to a copy button for all saved reports. So whether that's an existing report that you'd like to change somewhat and create a second version of it, or whether again that's somebody's shared report that you'd like to make edits to, you can create your own copy and make edits as you need to from there. Now, as well as just creating the report and saving it, you have access to PDF it, so send it to a PDF or an Excel document for exporting purposes. And then lastly, there is an email option here as well. So we can give ourselves our email a subject, a message, and then we can send it to effectively anybody you've got listed as a contact within the system. And then lastly, you can choose whether that export's coming in PDF or Excel format. A word of caution, not all of these reports will be Excel compatible. For example, if I went into, say, the where are we? The staff report, come into a staff performance report, you see this kind of format doesn't necessarily lend itself to Excel's format, whereas something that was more of a grid or table-based would. One last thing to note when it comes to the areas you have available with your display settings, if we come through to something like projects, tasks and time, or any other report that involves multiple data sections, you see in our display section we have the ability to turn on and off certain sections. So in this case we can remove time from this report, focusing instead on just tasks and projects. Now, as such, in the in the fields editor here, we have access to both fields options and task options, so we can change both tables individually. Now, I hope that's helped. Again, if you do need any support in future to build your own customized reports, please send a message through to subscriptions@ProWorkflow.com. Other than that, we hope you enjoy using our reporting tool. Have a great day. We'll catch you later.